Final Fantasy VII Remake easily stands as one of the most anticipated releases of all time. But after seeing the bold direction that Square Enix decided to pursue, you could also argue that its sequel, Rebirth, surpasses that feat. Rebirth returns to this new reality, one where we can expect to relive our favorite scenes in one moment while being flabbergasted by a massive deviation the next. This extends to not only the story, but to gameplay and design choices as well. One thing's for certain, this all adds up to one of the most ambitious RPGs ever made.
Got that? Now, let's move!
The most important change in Rebirth is the addition of massive environments that allow a greater sense of exploration and freedom than before. While Remake's rendition of Midgar provided plenty of intrigue despite its rather straightforward nature, going beyond the city's walls demands a different approach, especially if you're trying to capture the essence of the original world map. Rebirth accomplishes this in spades, with multiple open environments that become available as you progress through the game.
What a pleasant surprise! You do remember me, don't you?
Packed within each of these massive areas are plenty of side activities and odd jobs to keep you busy. Some are more simple-minded, like activating a tower to ping nearby points of interest or fighting a group of enemies, but others come across more like mini-games, such as the summoning sanctuaries or the Mog stools. The one that stands above the rest, though, is the Proto-Relic quest line, which takes on a different theme in each region, like the Fort Condor-themed minigame in the Junon region. Not to mention, the storyline for the Proto-Relic quest is incredibly rewarding, both with its ultimate payoff, as well as how it provides new insight into the world and its characters. This holds true for the various side quests, too, some of which extend into multiple portions of the world.
I'll need to prep his gear and all that, so why don't you wait outside?
If the fantastic activities aren't enough, Rebirth takes it one step further by crafting engrossing landscapes that feel distinct and interesting to explore, as well as introducing new hooks like various types of chocobos to aid in exploration, some that can walk up walls, leap off giant mushrooms, or glide through the air. Plus, there are also vehicles like the buggy used to traverse the massive desert region of Corel. What's even more impressive is that you can seamlessly travel between each environment in addition to the fast travel system. So don't be surprised if you find yourself lost for hours on end, simply exploring each region and trying to tackle everything thrown your way. Yet it never feels like busy work. It's always a pleasure, and you'll find yourself wanting to seek out every nook and cranny as Rebirth constantly dangles irresistible carrots to entice your sense of adventure while rewarding you with meaningful new insights or worthwhile prizes, including new weapons, gear, materia, and even alternate outfits. We can't stress enough how impressive it is that so many diverse and addictive minigames made their way into Rebirth. Obviously, you're going to spend a lot of time at the Gold Saucer, but there are so many other excellent minigames present, including Queen's Blood, a card game that packs enough substance that it could be a standalone release. Quite honestly, we could write an entire review just about the minigames. There are that many, and they're all that good. The bottom line is that Rebirth goes above and beyond when it comes to how you explore and interact with the world.
All right then. Let's play.
Each of your 7 party members also adds a high degree of interaction with the world around you in the form of specialized traversal mechanics. Whether it's clearing out objects with Barrett's gun arm, swinging across gaps or reaching high ledges with Yuffie or Tifa's grappling hook, or walking up walls as Red 13. The one caveat is that these tools aren't always available, but are rather restricted to certain points in the game.
Have fun.
Your party members also retain their distinct fighting styles from before, complete with special abilities and powerful limit breaks and summons. Newcomers Kate Sith and Red 13 add their own personal touches with surprising new mechanics. With a wide range of characters now in play, Rebirth allows for distinct combinations that can either suit your style or, in some instances, give you an upper hand in certain battles. Rebirth also incorporates the synergized mechanic introduced in Final Fantasy VII Remake's DLC, Intermission, and expands upon the concept to elevate the strategy and depth of the combat system. This new rendition encourages you to switch between characters to build up your synergy meter in order to execute these specialized commands that not only inflict damage, but trigger special power-ups like increasing your limit break level or removing the cost for casting spells. Just like limit breaks or summons, using synergy can bail you out of a tough situation. Not to mention, they look amazing in action. Your party also plays an integral role in many of Rebirth's core RPG systems, including the new party level mechanic. As you progress through the game, you're provided various prompts to interact with party members to improve their bonds. Some of these pay off in the form of party experience, and with each new party level unlocked, you gain access to new abilities and stat boosts for each character via their skill tree. As with many RPG skill trees, it can look a bit intimidating at first, but thankfully, you can freely reset skill points in order to experiment with what works best for you. Your decisions also impact a very specific and highly anticipated event found later in the game, but thankfully, once you complete the game, you can easily jump back to chapters and replay them in hopes of seeing a different outcome. Completing the game also unlocks hard mode, as well as a few other nice features that provide decent incentives to dive back in to complete any unfinished business. If there's one missed opportunity, it's with the materia system, or rather, the lack of a way to save loadouts for your materia and gear. This is something numerous people asked for after the release of Remake, as well as its DLC. Yet while there's a small improvement here allowing you to view the entire party's materia at once, there's still no option to save multiple setups. This is a minor annoyance in your first playthrough, but should you attempt hard mode or some of the optional challenges, the oversight feels much more frustrating.
Multiple reactor bombings, followed by the fall of the Sector 7 flight.
Boy, that tornado really did a number on the city.
As beautiful and captivating as the world of Rebirth is with all it has to offer, perhaps the biggest draw is the narrative. Remake gave us a sense of direction for this new take, but it left us with many unresolved mysteries and one heck of a teaser for what's next. Rebirth hits most of the same beats involved in this stretch of the original story, with a few notable omissions and revisions. So while it may be familiar for the most part, it's what might change that can keep even veteran players hooked with anticipation.
You wait out here, Tifa.
No way! I want to go too. Please?
Like Remake before it, many of these revisions result in wonderful payoffs in the form of new character development, where very little existed before. The greatest strength of Rebirth is in its cast, and the character arcs here are compelling tales that make you feel for each and every one of them. The storytelling is elevated by solid writing and voice work, which really sell the relationships and emotions between party members and the various side characters they encounter.
Wow, where'd you learn to do that?
Hey, you gotta play for us sometime.
Well, shit. You're a merc of many talents.
The only real downside here is that the final stretch feels a bit rushed, but unfortunately we can't get into detail about why we feel this way without delving into major spoilers. In the end, while Rebirth's overall story provides some much-needed context for some of the more enigmatic narrative elements, it's going to leave you with many new questions that will make the wait for Part 3 all the more agonizing.
Oh, please, it's all yours. Don't hurt us again.
Considering the size of the world and all that's packed into each region, it's pretty impressive from a technical standpoint to see the game run at such a high frame rate in performance mode, even if the image quality takes a bit of a hit to maintain that mark. You can opt for the graphics mode to restore a lot of that fidelity, but it comes at too great of a cost to performance. Many of the regions look fantastic, especially Gongaga and Cosmo Canyon. Meanwhile, the cinematic presentation for many of the fights and cutscenes is truly something to behold. The loading times when utilizing fast travel are pretty quick, though it's not as impressive as some other recent efforts on the platform.
The blades are spinning! Actually spinning! What a sight!
Finally, there's the music. Remake's score took home numerous awards back in 2020, and the original themes are some of the most iconic in existence, so expectations couldn't be higher for Rebirth's musical score. Without flinching, it knocks it out of the park with great updates to these classic tunes that utilize a wide range of genres and styles, lending to some jaw-dropping moments. More than once, we paused major scenes and boss fights just to hear the music play. Given its enormous scale, it's really hard to believe it only took 4 years to make Final Fantasy VII Rebirth a reality. It's an incredibly long game, given that so many of the side quests and activities feel integral to not only the core experience, but to the narrative as well. Our final playtime clocked in at over 100 hours, and there's still more to see and do. Yet not even a single hour feels like a grind or a chore just to get to the good stuff. Rebirth draws you in with its outstanding world and never lets you go. As big of an impact as Remake made upon its release, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth eclipses it in nearly every way. It improves upon just about every facet of its predecessor by introducing incredible new mechanics, an unbelievable world to explore, countless charming minigames, another out-of-this-world soundtrack, some of the most memorable characters, and a fascinating storyline that will leave you on the edge of your seat. This is truly a must-play game for anyone who loves RPGs.
And there it was, the first step on our new journey. You coming?
Yeah.
Of course we are. Right?
Follow me.
Final score, 9.5 out of 10.
All right, let's get this show on the road, people.
Thanks for watching our review. We're Easy Allies. We've been writing about games for decades, and we also do podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by regular viewers just like you. Head over to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.